The member for Menzies.
Mr Speaker, I rise tonight to acknowledge the death 2 weeks ago of Thomas Leo Sweeney and to place on record my condolences to his family and friends. I first met Tom Sweeney some 20 years ago and have had many conversations with him over a long period of time, and indeed he served as the chairman of my Federal Electorate Council for a number of years. Tom was an impressive and forthright man with a clear direction, a love of family and friends, and a very clear set of values. Tom Sweeney was born in Brisbane in 1929, the second of 6 children, the son of Tom Senior, a journalist and a rugby league international, and his mother Mary. He was educated at St Joseph's College, Gregory Terrace, where he excelled as an all-round sportsman. On finishing school, his father found him a job in engineering faculty at the University of Queensland as a technician, and this led to a long and industrious and illustrious career as a civil engineer. But Tom, first of all, was a champion sportsman, captain of the school's first 11 cricket, 6 times Queensland Open men's high jump champion, jumped off for selection for the Olympic Games, an A-grade tennis player, golf with near scratch handicap, and competitive at gymnastics, basketball and even table tennis. But it was on the rugby union field as a fullback that he achieved his sporting fame, initially with his beloved Brothers Rugby Club and then representing Queensland and eventually the Wallabies. He toured South Africa with the Wallabies in 1953, representing his country 15 times, including the first Test. The following year he played against the Fijians and was selected for the Wallaby tour against the All Blacks. Sadly, broken ribs sustained in a typically courageous tackle on a very large Fijian kept him out of the tour, and shortly thereafter a knee injury ended his rugby career prematurely at the age of 24. While continuing to work at the university, he also worked part-time for Channel 7 as an on-air sports commentator, and it was there that he met a young choreographer and dancer on the then bandstand show named Carolyn Yule. Their wedding was big news at the time in Brisbane, with a front-page picture on the Courier Mail. The couple thereafter moved for Tom to start work as an engineer on the Snowy Mountains scheme, something which is topical at the present time, Mr Speaker, and his expertise in metallurgy acquired at university being then a valuable commodity. There they started a family of 6 children, Tom working 6 days a week and then spending every spare hour playing games with his children. Tom always said that despite everything else he had done, his proudest achievement was his children. He rejoiced in everything all his children did and achieved. The collapse of the Westgate Bridge in Melbourne brought the family to my city for what was then supposed to be a 2-year stint, which then became permanent. And indeed, Tom became the chief resident engineer on the reconstruction of the Westgate Bridge and saw this magnificent project through to its completion. He remained very active after retiring from work, in politics, in my local electorate in particular, with golf and his continued love of rugby, particularly with the Melbourne University Rugby Club. In the end, he passed away peacefully, holding his wife's hand. He's survived by siblings Damien and Germaine, his wife Carolyn, and 5 of 6 children, Matthew, Luke, Mary Ellen, Rebecca and Tom, along with his adored 8 grandchildren. In his eulogy, his son Tom said, "In this era, when it seems that fame and public admiration are increasingly obtained with fewer and fewer substantive and worthwhile attributes, Tom was someone who lived a life defined by strong values, absolute integrity, the pursuit of excellence in all things, and an unfailing loyalty and devotion to family that were the values that defined him." He used to tell his children when they were young that we are all just a set of attitudes. We didn't listen, but of course he was right. He was truly someone who has left a wonderful legacy and a world a much better place for the things he built and for the standards he set for the family he raised. Mr Speaker, Vale Tom Sweeney, may he rest in peace.